Hillary Clinton just delivered instant karma to Donald Trump and MAGA Republicans. She just wrapped up a press conference in Chappaqua. It's the town that she lives in around upstate New York. She finished her deposition where she was called and subpoenaed by the MAGA Republicans in connection with the Epstein files, even though she doesn't appear on them and never met Epstein and has no connection to Epstein, unlike people in Donald Trump's cabal. In any event, she sat for her deposition. As I talked about earlier, you had MAGA Republicans like Lauren Boebert try to take photos of her, to which Hillary Clinton said, let's just allow the press to come in. If you're going to violate all the rules that you're setting about no cameras and no whatever, let's have the whole press come in. I want to do this hearing in public anyway. And then James Comer was like, no. Then Hillary Clinton held a press conference. It was a powerful press conference. It's vintage Hillary Clinton. She was clear. She was very specific. She punched back at these MAGA Republicans. She mocked them. It was great. Let me show you what went down moments ago as she stepped out of her deposition. She talked about how weird and unusual these MAGA Republicans were behaving in the deposition and how they started talking about Pizzagate and UFOs. Let's play this clip.
I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times. It then got, at the end, quite unusual because I started being asked about UFOs and a series of questions about Pizzagate, one of the most vile, bogus conspiracy theories that was propagated on the internet, that was serving as the basis of a member's questions to me.
Next, Hillary Clinton talked about an exchange that she thought was one of the most interesting exchanges of the deposition. Let's play this clip.
I can only say that the best exchange that I had came at the very end, when, contrary to every other deposition they have taken, no Republican member asked any questions about Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell to anyone else they have deposed. And in fact, the Republican members didn't even show up for the deposition of Les Wexner. And when I said that, I had to point out that the only questions that any Republican member asked of any of the people they deposed was of former Attorney General Bill Barr, when Chairman Comer asked him about the allegations, in his view, about Russia's involvement in my election in 2016. So at the very end of this hearing, after I made that point, I want to commend Chairman Comer for raising a series of significant questions that I responded to about the nature of the investigation and the areas that I thought should be explored. So I appreciated that. I want to see the truth come out. So that was a reassuring way to end a very long, repetitive deposition.
Next, Hillary Clinton talked about how these MAGA Republicans, the Congress members who were there, who didn't bother going to Les Wexner's deposition, or don't bother asking anyone else questions about Epstein in order to cover up for Donald Trump. She's like, look, we agreed to rules that they wanted and they started violating them. So I'm like, let's just let the press in. Here, play this clip.
Please. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good evening. Well, I have just finished testifying. I answered every one of their questions as fully as I could, based on what I knew. And what I knew is what I said in my statement this morning. I never met Jeffrey Epstein, never had any connection or communication with him. I knew Ghislaine Maxwell casually as an acquaintance, but whatever they asked me, I did my very best to respond. It was disappointing that they refused to hold a public hearing, so I wouldn't have to be out here characterizing it for you. You could have seen it for yourself. We had asked for that. We think it would have been better for the committee and its efforts to gather whatever information they are seeking. We had a bit of a challenge in the beginning because we agreed upon rules based on the fact it was going to be a closed hearing at their demand, and one of the members violated that rule, which was very upsetting because it suggested that they might violate other of our agreements. So we had to cease the hearing for a period of time until we could get assurances that no rules would be broken going forward, and we returned to answer questions repetitively, literally over and over again. I don't know how many times I had to say I did not know Jeffrey Epstein. I never went to his island. I never went to his homes. I never went to his offices. So it's on the record numerous times.
She talks about what she's asked. She answers every question from the press. They ask her, well, how do you process the fact that your husband, Bill Clinton, is referenced in the Epstein files? Okay, so, you're going after Hillary Clinton for her husband? Okay, well, if that's the case, why don't you ask Melania all of these questions? Because Donald Trump's like the lead character in the Epstein files. But anyway, watch Hillary Clinton answer this question with dignity. Let's play this clip.
You spoke in your opening remarks about how heartbroken you have been for the Epstein survivors as these files have come out. Can you talk to us a little bit about how you have processed and reacted to the fact that the former president, your husband, Bill Clinton, is referenced in the Epstein files numerous times, including in some photos featuring women? And how have you been personally preparing for the deposition that is coming tomorrow? Are you 100% confident that there isn't anything that the former president knows about Epstein's crimes?
I am, and I think the chronology of the connection that he had with Epstein ended several years before anything about Epstein's criminal activities came to light, and that he was charged and sadly given a sweetheart deal, which, as I said in my statement, had that not happened, perhaps his predatory behavior could have been stopped earlier. But I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people. They did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow.
So then she's asked, do you still want to testify publicly, even though you gave this deposition? She's like, I'm not doing this again. What are you talking about? I offered to do it publicly. I'm doing it once. They had the opportunity to do it in public. I want this tape released. We can release the video deposition right away. Here, play this clip.
Secretary, do you believe this was a fair hearing? And do you still want to testify publicly, even though you gave this deposition?
Well, I'm not going to do it again. They had a chance to do it in public, and I wish they had done it in public. And I think they're making the wrong decision, avoiding doing it in public. I thought it was very repetitive. I thought that they asked literally the same questions over and over again, which didn't seem to me to be very productive. And then, as I said, toward the end, there were other questions that were totally off subject. So if they are going to fulfill their responsibilities to literally investigate the investigations, which is what they originally said was the scope of their work, I think they could have spent the day more productively.
Next, the reporter asks why Ghislaine Maxwell was invited to Chelsea's wedding. And Hillary's like, she wasn't. She wasn't. She was somebody's plus one that Chelsea invited, and we didn't know that she was even going to be there. Gotcha! What a gotcha moment. Here, play this clip.
Madam Secretary, can I ask? James Matthews from Sky News. Can I ask, why was Ghislaine Maxwell invited to the daughter of Chelsea Clinton's wedding in 2010? She'd already been mentioned in a civil lawsuit by Virginia Giuffre before that. Jeffrey Epstein had already been convicted before that.
She came as the plus one, the guest of someone who was invited.
Thank you, everybody.
And then Hillary Clinton says, I don't know when the video is going to come out there, but I want it out as soon as possible. Let's play it.
Madam Secretary, what was your reaction, please, to the photos of your husband in the hot tub and the swimming pool?
What message does it say that President Trump was
I don't know when the video will be out. I don't know when the transcript will be out. We've asked that they be out as quickly as possible, and then you can see.
Madam Secretary, what was your reaction to
everything.
President photos in the hot tub? We heard from Bill Gates concerns about Epstein trying to blackmail him.
All right, real talk. Everywhere you turn right now, someone's talking about GLP-1s. And I think a lot of people are very close to trying them until they remember they don't really love the idea of needles and they'd much rather go the natural route if they can. You've seen the fad diets, the detox teas, the stuff that sounds like it was invented in a group chat at 2 a.m. At some point, you just want something that actually supports weight loss without feeling like a chemistry experiment. This podcast is sponsored by Veracity, and they're offering an all-natural way to slim down, get energized, and sharpen your focus by tackling the root cause of so many issues, metabolism. If weight loss is your goal, you've got to check out Metabolism Ignite, the #1 doctor-recommended GLP-1 booster and GLP-1 alternative. No side effects, no allergens. It's plant-based and clinically proven to reduce hunger by 85% and help people lose an average of 9 pounds in 90 days. I started using Metabolism Ignite recently, just 2 capsules with breakfast, and it's made me feel more focused and steady throughout the day. It's made with ingredients like lemon verbena, hibiscus extracts, green coffee bean extract, and magnesium. And even if you're already on GLP-1 meds, Veracity is safe to take alongside them. Plus, it's caffeine-free and clinical trials showed no negative side effects. I love that it's scientifically legit without coming with a mile-long warning label. Just 2 capsules every morning. Couldn't be easier. So make the switch to GLP-1s the natural way. Head to veracityhealth.co and use code MIDAS for up to 60% off your order. Once again, that's veracityhealth.co for up to 60% off, and make sure you use my promo code MIDAS so they know I sent you. That's MEIDAS.
Then you had MAGA Republicans like James Comer. Again, just think about how, again, these MAGAs are politicizing this thing in a way that Americans know is screwed up. And I remember this. Hillary Clinton said that she would testify publicly. She said she wants to do this hearing in front of everybody originally, and James Comer wanted it to be private. Okay, Comer, what do you have to say now? Play this clip.
Sure that you just showed where Bill Clinton was in the hot tub. We showed her that picture, and she acted like she had no curiosity, wasn't concerned who was in the hot tub with him or any. She didn't know. She said, and she really wasn't concerned. So there a lot of things she said that I think most Americans will find hard to believe when they watch the video.
And by the way, James Comer, look into James Comer's past. He's been accused of abuse. He's been accused of hitting a girlfriend. He's been accused of a lot of things too, Comer. So, be careful casting those stones, Comer. Then you had another MAGA Republican, Pat Fallon. Here's what he had to say. Play this clip.
Now, do you think that the Boebert photo that was sent out, which y'all aren't supposed to do that, right? That's a pretty obvious no-no. So she sent that out. That gave Hillary a pretextual excuse for stopping the depot. But it was, that was a violation of the rules, was it not? So you can say it's pretextual, but you're not supposed to do that. So did that affect ultimately what you guys got? It was just a pause.
It was just a pause, fortunately. Honestly, Lauren Boebert, my friend, apologized for it. It was an unforced error, but it was going to be possibly, as you said, a pretense for Hillary to say, oh, I'm going to leave. And she threatened that. She actually said that. And I went right to Chairman Comer and I said, Jamie, if she leaves, we still have to hold her in contempt. Then what is she, a Fabergé egg? Yes, it was a violation, but it's a still image. And let's move forward. And Lauren said that she wouldn't do it again. She didn't do it again. And fortunately, we were able to continue on because not only could we fill up your whole hour tonight, but we could teach a 3-credit college course. The more digging that you do with this, the more it doesn't make sense that the Clintons weren't really, they're a lot closer to Epstein than they're going to let you, believe.
Okay, really? So that's what you're going with. Then Fallon finally said, she's a very icy person, Hillary. Very icy. Here, play this clip.
Politics. So take us behind closed doors. What was Hillary's demeanor like? She actually got fluffed up pretty well, looking pretty good there. So how did it go down?
Well, I'd never actually seen Laura. I'd never seen her in person. And she was certainly agitated. She was trying to be a little charming to the Democratic staff, and that even fell flat. She's a very icy person, interestingly enough. But nonetheless, she was trying to distance herself from Jeffrey Epstein and Maxwell, obviously, as she just said. She said she never met Epstein. She was just casual with Maxwell. So I asked her a question. Just casual. You've met hundreds of thousands of people. Your daughter gets married in 2010. You have to distill these hundreds of thousands of people down to 250. There were 500 at the wedding. There's going to be a groom. So 250 Clinton invites. And guess who shows up as an invited guest? Ghislaine Maxwell. And she said, well, she just was a +1. I said, so that's your testimony under oath, that it's just an odd coincidence that old Maxwell was there. Things that make you go,
Do we know who was? Wait, what was she? Was she Epstein's +1? Forgive me for not knowing that.
No, Epstein didn't go. He had been convicted.
Didn't show up
counts in 08.
That would be bad.
These MAGA Republicans are a bunch of weirdos. Hillary Clinton handling herself with incredible dignity and grace, answering every question. Now let's do Melania. Now let's depose Donald Trump. Now let's depose Howard Lutnick. Those are the people who should be sitting for depositions.